Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. I am the ear doctor, in case you didn't know. And yes, this is Black Liberation Media. We come to bring you that boom bap breakfast. And yes, not just me, it be the crew, the three. But first, let me introduce you to him. He goes by the name of Evan. And every day, all day, even on a Saturday or on a Tuesday, you can catch Renee. And Kim will be around. What's good, y'all? I'm off. I don't have my laptop this morning, so I'm playing vinyl. I ain't even go through these records. So
how was your weekend question? Right. I'm curious, do you have any idea how many records you have?
Oh wow.
Vinyl?
Yeah.
I lost. To everybody, you ask a DJ, they start talking about how many they lost before they tell you how many. I have thousands. That's about 2,000.
Wow.
That's crazy. How many crates is that? How many those black
crates?
Don't
even go. I just went to the store and got a big long board and got some cinder blocks, and then I just started stacking them on the board because it's a lot. And I got it on my wall, so it's like holding up my turntables and everything. It's a nice little setup. Anyway, how's everyone? Y'all looking chipper?
Well,
I can't say that for Renee. She looks like that every day.
On Saturday, I know that.
I know. I was gonna say, although people saw me on Saturday, I'm a real person. I'm not
Ghostface removed the mask. Let me see. How was that, Renee?
It went well. It was we had a good conversation. Folks came out. We had some orgs in the building giving out info. We went long because people started asking questions.
Oh boy!
But
how many people just wanted to hear themselves talk on the mic?
You know what? Actually, there was one that's questionable on that.
I was gonna say I only counted one potential. You know,
even you
questionable on that. But I think the other people were actually like asking questions. Like it was legit. So it was good though. It was fun. I didn't really know.
I said that tax man.
It really was. It really was.
It's always that one dude. Yo, so for somebody that looked outside, how did it? You went, Evan?
No, I wasn't. I caught it on video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
but you don't
setup
know what
was
to
good
expect when you start planning these things. Like you're not really sure. 20-something people sign up, or 5 people going to show up. You don't. There's no telling. But I'll tell you this: the folks at Express Newark, the CMC crew, they are legit. I mean, they were on it. Everything that we needed for the tech to work well, they did. They were on it. So they and they'd never done like a live stream through their space before. This was a new experience for them, as it was a new experience for us. So we got to give them some experience doing something that is probably going to help their space as far as being able to expand what they can offer to folks. But it was, I really enjoyed it, to be honest. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
That's amazing. You would not have known that was their first time doing something like that as an audience member. Like you would not have known. And I thought
that's good. That's
hilarious in the beginning because Dr. Jared bought like a bag of like, I guess, wires and stuff like that because he didn't know what might be needed, conversion things. You're like, keep your bag.
He's an old man with wires in his bag. No, we got it, Grandpops. We got everything we need over here.
It was funny, man. But no, it was a dope event. Cool conversation. Dope that y'all had Geechee and Mtume with you. So yeah, I thought it was really cool.
What was what was something you took away from it, Evan?
Oh boy, here we go.
I mean, if you don't go to learn something, I mean,
it's just I'm trying to think through the entire conversation that they had.
Nothing stood out.
I appreciate their commentary on Centers, Oscars, like that kind of stuff. You know, like there was a little bit of that.
Oh boy,
so I appreciated that. That was what else y'all talk about, Renee? I'm trying to think. Like, now I'm trying to think about the entire conversation.
We talked about Target and this whole boycott thing.
Renee got to have a little. She didn't actually do the run, but she could have. It would have been justified in doing a little run around a victory lap. You know what I'm saying? For having called the Target thing way back when on Saturdays with Renee.
So what was it? Bryant got his money and was like, "Yo, we could chill now." Was that?
I mean, there's no evidence that he got any money, but he's now called it off because
he apologized.
Bryant, because Target is gonna allow for I think it's like $2 billion they're gonna support in Black businesses to sell through Target. But there's a woman, and we didn't talk about this at all on Saturday. There's a woman.
You said there's a woman.
Kim
Brown.
Oh.
He couldn't miss the chance. You know what I mean?
You left me that little piece, but you can continue now. What's up, Kim?
So there's a woman who was part of the the on the ground community group that started the initial boycott, who's very, very upset that Bryant and whoever else stood up there with him said that it was done. And so we didn't really talk about it much because she's also just boycotting over DEI. And so I'm like, Bryant stole the bad idea.
I think you talk about Nikema Levy Armstrong. I think they had started this Target boycott after the murder of George Floyd. Like, so I think it grew legs after the DEI thing, but I think it was already a thing before that.
Yeah. So, but she's still, maybe I'm not reading the right thing. So please, if I'm incorrect, correct me. But now when she speaks on it, her focus is that they haven't done the things that the DEI demands were making. Like, I've yet to hear her talk about the surveillance that's happening, that started within the Minneapolis Target. Like, that program literally started there. And I could be wrong. So folks, please, if I'm incorrect, like, straighten me out.
They'll love to do that.
Yeah, like they'll be on
Wikipedia. Wikipedia is undefeated out here. What you mean?
So I'm good with that, But I just feel like this whole thing with this focus on, like, we got to get these DEI policies back in place when the DEI policies were not helpful. It just always feels like the ask is for the wrong thing.
What would you have asked Target for?
To stop surveilling their outside of their building and inside of their building and sharing it with the police department.
Stop letting their employees get snatched up by ICE straight up out the building. That happened in Minnesota. I'm sure other places, but I definitely saw a video of a teenager, by the way, a teen worker. A U.S. citizen. They pulled his ass right out damn Target. He was working. His
and then didn't they drop him off? Didn't they drop him off like in another part of Minneapolis? And they just pushed, they just let him out the car, and that was it. No,
and I think they assaulted him. They beat him.
About that.
Standard operating procedure. What did Target have to say about that? I don't think a whole lot.
Yeah, so what was the DEI thing about it, Target again? Why was the boycott? I forget.
So essentially, I know Evan's laughing, but on the look, there is a chance that people did not know any of this is happening. So we're going to explain. So DEI had put in place. Sorry, Target had put in place DEI policies in 2020. That when they put in place for 4 years. That was the intention, was to go for 4 years and see how it went. When Trump won the election and there was this whole removal of DEI stuff happening, Target went about doing what they had always planned to do, which was to undo the policies they put in 2020. So the focus became that Target was selling out its customers because it was removing its DEI policies. The problem is the DEI policies were not actually doing anything that was helpful. 1. 2, the majority of people who are not white and work for Target work in the stores, right? Like they're doing shelves and registers and customers or whatever. And then Target's profit margin, only 9% of it is impacted by Black people. So it seemed to me that to go after this national corporation for which you are responsible for less than 10% of its profit margin over a policy that wasn't actually impacting your community in any real way, it just seemed like a bad combination of decisions as I, looked at it. And so now that they've deemed it done, because what's his face again? The pastor, what's his name?
Jamal Bryant.
Made a statement that this was, the fast is over because Target is now has committed $2 billion to helping sales for Black businesses. So that's the really short version of the story. Did I miss anything, folks?
So they solved the problem by throwing money at it?
Well, they didn't solve the problem, no, but they threw money at it.
But it's important to note that DEI, as Renee's saying, DEI was not solving the problem in the first place, right?
You're on mute, Kim. Right.
So, am I?
No, I said Kim was on
mute. Okay. No, but DEI wasn't solving the problem in the first place, and DEI isn't meant to solve the problem. DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, as it's deployed by corporations, businesses, right, is simply done in order to increase their profit share. Like that is the reason, right? So whether it's done by increasing the amount of Black and brown people or people of a specific demographic that their product can apply to, whether it's about, increasing or making their recruitment more competitive so they can have more diverse slates of applicants for their roles, right? Like whatever it is, right? Whatever the thrust of that DEI initiative is, the goal at the end of the day is for that corporation to make more money. And if it does not, if the DEI that they're doing, if the DEI initiatives that they're employing do not produce more money at the end of that time, they will be scrapped. Like they will be reconstituted. Something will happen to them, right? Or they'll just drop them because they did not produce the actual goal, right? But for us as I think consumers, we're, and I think, Jared talks about this a lot, like we're propagandized to think that DEI initiative is meant to express an actual commitment, an actual political commitment that these companies, that these owners are making, that they're not making.
Okay.
And I to be fair, I speak from this as someone who used to be a consultant for these types of companies doing this work. Developing DEI programs, recruitment programs, initiatives, things like that, right? And saw, at least in that world, how BS it was. So want to back up everything Renee was saying in her research, as someone as a practitioner, let's say, absolutely correct. And somebody said it a while ago, but DEI is well known even within the industry. Like the most prominent recipient or beneficiary of DEI demographically is white women. Period. It always has been. I can't remember Yeah.
I mean, the craziest part about it is the fact that I thought you was more like Tommy when you said you used to work and you used to consult. You ain't had no job. Stop playing. Oh my goodness. And then speaking of people who ain't got no jobs, the airports right now. Another shutdown. TSA, they ain't coming to work. And the airport in Atlanta looks crazy. Lines all the way from the TSA to outside the building. I mean, don't fly right now.
Bad time to be flying.
Yeah, for real. So it's crazy. So how long y'all think this shutdown is going to be?
So it's a partial government shutdown. So only Department of Homeland Security, but there's some big agencies that fall under that department, including TSA and FEMA. I don't know. I guess the Democrats call themselves holding the line until ICE starts wearing body cameras. Like, what are we doing? What? Okay. Because I can show you lots of videos of cops wearing body cameras and brutalizing and violating people's rights. So what do body cams do again? They just document the rights violations.
Yeah, so they can go through the proper channels, so that we know them, so that we can know, and then we can get justice going through the proper channels.
Oh, Evan, you strike me as a proper channels ass nigga. You really do.
He do look like one of those. Well, as long as you take it to the proper channels, then we can. I can't stand him.
Low key, you a proper channels ass nigga too.
Whoa. Not I. Improper channels. We take you through there. Take me through there. But yeah, that's wild. So I guess we got some different things. And then look at this, how we starting the day off with infinite content 8001 $2.
Thank you. Infinite.
With how Iran is moving, traveling ain't wise. Ooh, that's
how America is moving out here. It's dog.
Yeah, that is true right there. Let's not put it all on Iran, but I was
about to say the root of the problem is the niggas starting shit. Like, right. Understand? Like, Iran is just responding.
It's seeing Iranian officials on like CBS and stuff like that talking about, like, don't you think this is going overboard and all this? And like, y'all attacked us. You attacked us. Like, why are we starting the clock at this arbitrary? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so nuts, and they're able to like ask those questions with no sense of like, I don't know, shame,
no guile, right?
Straight face, you know what I mean? It's just like, how are you asking that question?
And and all these, and let's not forget all these provocateurs they put in the audiences when it comes to rallies and stuff like that. So don't think that they won't do the same thing when it comes to, having somebody in the plane or something like that. Did I got that one right, Kim? Provocateur.
You got the word right. How was your weekend?
Yo, big up to Lucretia, a sister that was a teacher at a party I did this weekend. She says she watches the Remix Morning Show.
What?
Yeah. We be outside, y'all. Look at that. We be outside. If you see, y'all ain't got your merch. That's why people don't be knowing what be going on.
What you mean?
Oh, talk that talk, Evan. Let me see yours, Renee. Oh, never mind.
Like that, you know what I mean?
Look, I wore my shirt on Saturday. I wore mine on Saturday.
Okay.
Person, yes.
Oh, look at that. Did you go, Kim?
No, I didn't go.
Oh, it was in Jersey. That's right. You ain't traveling.
It was in Newark, Jersey.
Kim got her cup though, but I'm just saying. Yeah, so big up to Lucretia. I also DJ'd a St. Patty's Day event.
Did you?
So yeah.
Hold on, white folks?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man, did you play all their favorite cracker spirituals, Sweet Caroline?
Listen, no, this was the younger teens. This was the Sabrina Carpenters and the newer generation of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What was that like? How did the young white girls party? Are they like their mothers?
Oh, I mean, they still get in front of the DJ booth and then do the, try to do the. It's like they throwing their whole fucking back out, like trying to put their ass up. It's crazy.
Yes, this is the generation of white girls that was raised on twerking, right? You know what I'm saying?
Twerking. Twerk, Molly, twerk, twerk, twerk. Yeah, that one. And also I was at the coffee Grant Park Coffee House. I got to do a 80s mix. So I was over there just rocking some 80s joints. So it was a good weekend. I DJ somewhere else too. I forgot. But it was a long weekend of DJing. Yes.
That's good. You were booked and busy.
Booked and busy. Yes. Got some more stuff coming up this weekend. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm doing what I love doing. And that's what it's about. And I'm ready to get some more content and put it here on Black Liberation Media. Since we're talking about content, we might as well transition into a break so we can give y'all some more content talking about news. Y'all like that?
That was great. Fantastic.
I appreciate it. I'll be trying. All right. Let's get it right here on No Other Than. What is it, Evan?
Remix Morning Show.
Yeah. Ooh, that's that vinyl right there, y'all. You hear that crack? Yeah. What's good, everybody? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there. Gift for this, that's rare. And donate where? At blkliberationmedia.org. Why not? I mean, this is the day to do it. Go ahead and, bless the station so we can make sure we have a celebration and good communication with y'all throughout the nation. All right, with that said, let's get to the weather. Let's talk about how I was just DJing outside on Saturday on a nice, damn near 80-degree day when yesterday in Atlanta, I woke up to rain and thunderstorms. Next, I had to see hail. Yes, hail dropped from the sky, a little bit of snow, and then the sun came out. So all that to say, this morning is like 29 degrees. The high for the day in Atlanta will only be 46. Now let's take it to DC. DC got a high today of 42 degrees, which is cold. I don't know what's going on. Chicago, 26 is their high. Crazy. Houston, they got a high today of 60. Now, the wild thing about Houston is they just had like their spring break out there, a bunch of clubs where they charging like $600 to get inside a club so you can spend more money once you get in the club. I don't understand people. Santa Clara, Cuba, they got a high today at 82 degrees. And last but not least, let's go to Luanda, Angola. They got a high of 83 degrees. Now, that's pretty hot. And I'll tell you what else was pretty hot. When you talk about people ready for war, we're talking about taking you to a place called Virginia. Virginia, they had pro-gun activists handing out free AR-15 magazines outside of Virginia State Capitol ahead of the ban that they was having. There's a video going viral about them handing these guns out right in front of the Capitol in a direct challenge to a pending legislation set to ban the sale of such magazines in the state. So, they getting ready, y'all. They getting ready for something. They making sure that their people is ready. What are we doing? I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, let's talk about it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yo, Kim, you remember that time that we asked Ear Doctor how his weekend was? He didn't ask us. Remember that? Me too. Anyway.
You told me you wanted to go see Renee.
I saw Renee on video, but I did other things like in person.
Evan, you don't do nothing else. You don't have a job. You run out of here acting like you got to go do some
Ouch.
Evan got a real job. Evan, member of organizations. Evan is busy.
He's a member of organizations with a job.
A couple, I think. Aren't you, Evan? Aren't you part of multiple organizations?
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Renee. I just, it's never enough for Ear Doctor, you know what I mean? But
that's right. Miami got 3 jobs. Tell her, Renee.
No. We did. Actually, we went door knocking. We did some outreach on Saturday, talking to the people, and it was actually really dope. I wanted to say, like, you know what I mean. I feel like it can be hard for people to like get out there and do outreach sometimes, you know, like you schedules conflict, right? Maybe it's a long chunk of time, but I feel like there's never been a time where I've done outreach and I have not come out of that feeling like better. You know what I mean? Talking to people, talking about issues, right? Hearing what people have to say, you know, our people are very aware of like what's happening to them. And we just need, it's like that kind of last push of getting them into organizations so that they can kind of enact those ideas that they're aware of, or the systems that they're aware of that are impacting their lives. But, you know, I just wanted to shout that out. Like, really appreciated being out and being able to talk to the people, being out with my comrades. Had two supporters that came in that very randomly just graduated from my alma mater. So that was weird. So we were just commiserating over what it's like to be Black at that predominantly white space, which is terrible. But shout out to them. Yeah, man, it was dope. It was dope.
Kim, how was your weekend?
Brilliant.
There we go. All right, we're done with that. Big up to Erica Brown flexing on us this morning. Good morning, y'all. Congratulations, Renee, on your live show. I haven't watched yet because I'm on vacation.
Did she see it that way?
In the middle of World War III, what is Erica Brown of Brokers doing? On vacation.
Sir, you out here spinning Sabrina Carpenter records for 12-year-olds.
Nice.
Mind the business that pays you. Don't worry about what Dr. Brown is out here doing.
Exactly. Like that's Dr. Brown. That's Dr. Brown to you, ear doctor.
Sipping pina coladas and Mai Tais out here in this war. I'll tell you, boy. Anyway, let me go.
Check your email, ear doctor. Hopefully, I sent some things to you. But in the interim, let us two-step into the news. Peace, everybody. Welcome and good morning. It's the Tuesday edition of the Remix Morning Show, exclusively here on Black Liberation Media. This is your Tuesday crew. We've got Evan, Renee, Kim, and Ear Doctor, and you remixers. Thank you all so much for doing what you do. Time in, time out, day in, day out, week in, week out, year after year after year. If you want to help us out, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/Black Liberation Media, or you can go cop you some merchandise at blkliberationmedia.org. We got your hoodies, we got your coffee mugs, we got your everythings. So yeah, go ahead and over there and get fresh, get fly like your Black Liberation Media crew. How we do. Shout out to the Ear Doctor. Big up to everybody. Peace to Infinite Content. Thank you so much for your early super chat runnings. We do appreciate that. Where would you all like to begin this morning?
Do you want to do the? Go ahead.
I was gonna ask. Do you want to start with the the absolute meltdown because people not helping could continue a war they didn't start? Because I really find this hysterical, to be honest. And
how was this nigga sundown in the middle of the day, sir? Mr. President, are you okay? You need a drink of water. Like
such a meltdown. But it's funny because one of the articles that I wanted to put in the sheet it's the same. You have an article from CNN and I have an article from I think whatever the other blue and yellow one is, but it's both about the same thing. So do you want to start there?
Yeah, let me pull it up. This is Straight to Her Moves, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Interesting exchanges in the White House yesterday, but one that I saw not relevant to any policy is when Trump outed one of the Florida congressmen who I guess had been diagnosed with a terminal disease and had told no one except Mike Johnson. And then Mike Johnson told Trump, and then Trump told everybody. I said, wow.
Yeah, it's one of his administrators, right?
No, it was a congressman. So they were at the podium and they were basically Trump, I guess, was counting votes. Like how many votes ahead in the House do Republicans have over Democrats? And he was like, it was 2, and then it was 3, and then a couple people died, and then we almost lost one, the congressman from Florida, because he got real sick. And it was a very odd exchange. Like when you hear people in the room actually kind of gasp, which never happens because they're so used to Trump and his, diarrhea of the mouth kind of fuckery, just saying anything. He took the people in the room by surprise by disclosing somebody's terminal illness to the world when they had not yet disclosed. I said, look, that's what you get for being loyal to a egregore, to a demon.
That is nuts, man. Yeah,
not the most egregious thing said.
It's not though. That's the thing. Like, it's just like he'll do something egregious and it doesn't even register because it's just he's gonna say something in the next couple hours that's gonna top that.
Yeah.
Geez. I put up the story. I know I see it in the chat also though, but the only other story I want to talk about besides this was Cuba.
Yes.
So we'll get there. But I guess we'll start here. Renee, this is the Guardian article that you mentioned.
Yes. And I mean, really, it's just.
Do we need clips? Y'all need clips?
Yeah, sure. I mean, really, this whole thing that the European countries are not jumping up to help in the Strait of Hormuz, and they're all basically making announcements saying,
no,
we didn't start this, and nobody came to us before they started this, and so therefore we're not getting involved in this, even though we'd like. But they all do the real slick thing of like, the regime had to change, but right? So it's always the but part. But
and if you're confused, sorry, Renee, if you're confused about why Renee is pointing that phraseology out, check out Black Myths podcast where they went over. I think the most recent one was I support the Iranian people, and they had Bikram Gill, who is fantastic, breaking all of that down, why that is a serious issue, you know what I mean, and very illuminating when people kind of start with that framing. Sorry, Renee, go ahead.
No, I'm glad, and that's really the point, right? Like this all of these like pronouncements of like, we're not gonna join a war, but like there is no but, right? Whether you agree with how a government is run in a sovereign nation is irrelevant. You don't live there, period. And this is the thing that I really want people to kind of like contemplate is there are consistently these things where the CIA and the military and these secret forces and whatever the names, all these things are, they go into a country simply to dictate who's going to be in charge. Well, why are we dictating that? Right. And like, I think I said it last week, like, when they decided that, Anatola's son, it was going to be the son who replaced the father. Like Trump's like, oh, I don't agree with that. I don't think who asked you? Why does your opinion matter? Right.
And why was that position not challenged by anybody asking him questions?
Right.
What right does the United States government have to dictate the leader of a sovereign of another sovereign nation's government? And no one asked them.
Exactly. And so what is happening right now is it's the hubris that has gotten everybody into this situation, right? Like this assumption that they were going to go and drop a bomb and they were going to cut off the head and everybody was going to be in a panic and running around in circles and nobody was going to be able to do anything and they were going to be able to just take over and say what was going to happen next. They didn't plan for like the response of no, sir. Like that's not gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And so this right now, what we're seeing is like the response to hubris in action. Like when you decide that you can make a decision and do whatever, and no one's going to respond, no one's going to question it. They're just going to let you do whatever you want. And you're unprepared for people to actually be thinking, breathing people who want their liberty and it's fascinating because the amount of times I hear like, give me liberty or give me death, and everybody's always with the American exceptionalism and we're free and all these things. But then you're cheering on depriving people of that same thing in another part of the world. Look, I don't get myself in any more trouble I'm already in, but I'm just saying the ancestors have answered the call. And the things are happening because nobody wants to be ruled by these Western white supremacists, period.
Yeah. And just to clarify, let me pull this back up just so we're clear, right? When we talk about the Strait of Hormuz, we're talking about this I guess you can't see my my arrow, but we're talking about this little area inlet right here south of Iran. And that's where 20% of the world's oil and liquid natural gas comes out of for global supplies. So them cutting this off, right, has been tanking the global economy, right? Oil prices have been going up precipitously, right? And Trump is trying to get someone else to take that artillery to open this up, and EU said no. So and this I think goes hand in hand with also the way in which Trump has been trying to, and the U.S. administration has been trying to like create its own reality around what's happening. They've been reporting that like Iran has been trying to reach out to them to get a ceasefire, to get a deal. We know that's been their story. Iran's foreign minister said, we have not been calling. We do not care. We're not interested. We're gonna fight until this is not an issue for us anymore. And why? And indeed, why would we reach out for negotiations when you bombed us while we were negotiating? Like, why would we do that? So who knows who's telling the truth? I just know the Trump lies as he breathes, right? And I know that even the way he's phrasing it, right? Like the quotes are just typical, Trump lies, right? Around, they want a deal, but I'm going to wait until the deal is as good as I can get, you know what I mean? Or, him talking about him obsessed about making a deal, right? While he is, I think, by all accounts, strategically losing this war. One of many that they have started. So I think this is important, you know what I mean? Like they are very much looking for an off-ramp. They're very much looking for other people to throw in the crossfire, and it's not going well. So
everybody that kind of piped up that something additional may happen beyond these terrible airstrikes over Iran, trying to recruit the Kurds into the ground troops or cannon fodder. And I saw a story from some foreign media, and the Kurds were like, we don't know about that now because it's not we're just gonna sit back and let all this marinate. And how Israel is blatantly invading Lebanon, and the horrific strikes that are happening not only across Lebanon, but more specifically in Beirut, in the country's capital, where that's not a Hezbollah stronghold. There's not Hezbollah rockets being launched from Beirut, and yet they are dropping bombs from the air, destroying attacking hotels, civilian sites, hospitals, schools. There have been
white phosphorus in residential areas.
That's right. I mean, almost 1 million Lebanese have been displaced, almost 1,000 have been killed. And some of the propaganda leaflets that Israel has been dropping over Lebanon is basically letting them know that this is the next Gaza. And everything that they're doing is right out of their Gaza playbook.
Yeah.
And nobody in the news says fuck all about it. There was cross-border, skirmishes. No, it's not a cross-border skirmish when a sovereign nation has been invaded.
All right. And it's worth noting that the Zionist entity has used this cover to continue its genocide in Gaza, to intensify its genocide in Gaza and the West Bank. So that never stopped, just in case people were wondering, right? Whatever ceasefire that they said that they were doing, right? They violate those like as they wish, right? So yeah, that's
Air Doctor, did you get an email from me? He might have went to the bathroom.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yes.
I'm sorry. You did. Oh, brilliant. The one that says Trump clips. Could you play the first one, please? Because this was your white friend's pop at work meandering all around, all about. And definitely pissed off at Europe. I love
the
it.
one
though.
about Tennessee. That's the first one.
No, I sent you 2 emails. My bad. So one is labeled Tuesday remix clips, and then I sent you a second email labeled clips Trump, I think. But is everybody in Europe said nah? I know Germany said nah. Luxembourg, nah. Who else? Did France say nah? France said, je ne sais pas.
I think they all said no.
Yeah. Yeah. EU, apparently EU voted and said no. So
ready when you are.
Go ahead and run it, Ear Doctor.
We don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them. But it's interesting. I'm almost doing it in some cases, not because we need them, but because I want to find out how they react. Because I've been saying for years that if we ever did need them, they won't be there. Not all of them, but they won't be there. I was very surprised with the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom, 2 weeks ago, I said, why don't you send some ships over? And he really didn't want to do it. I said, you don't want to do it. We've been with you. You're our oldest ally. And we spend a lot of money on, NATO and all of these things to protect you. I mean, we're protecting them. We're working with them on Ukraine. Ukraine's thousands of miles away, separated by a vast ocean. We don't have to do that, but we did it. Well, Biden did it. I mean, I have to be honest with you. Biden got taken to the cleaners. But we worked with them in Ukraine. We don't need to work with them in Ukraine. And then they tell us that we have a mine chip around and they don't want to do it. I think it's terrible. No, I was very surprised. I told him, we requested 2 aircraft carriers, which they had, and he didn't really want to do it. And then right after the war essentially ended, meaning they were obliterated, he said, I would like to send the aircraft carriers. I said, I don't need them after the war has ended and won. I need it before the war. So I was very not upset. I was not happy with the UK. I think they'll be involved. Yeah, maybe. But they should be involved enthusiastically. We've been protecting these countries for years with NATO, because NATO is us. You can ask Putin. Putin fears us. He has no fear of Europe whatsoever. He fears the United States of America and the military that was built by me in the first term. We don't.
Can I tell you? I mean, I'm not one of those people like, oh, well, Trump is just playing into Putin's hands. No, I don't give a fuck about that. But I will say Putin has got to be laughing his ass off as this NATO coalition just crumbles. It just falls apart. It just goes down the tubes. Yep. And now Ukraine has got to send back their interceptors and they THAAD, whatever units, because the United States is running dry because they done shot all their shots in the first 2 weeks.
Yo, you know how in the mob movies when they always be like, yeah, we pay us to protect you, we'll protect you, and go to all the storefronts and be like, we got your protect. That's how he sound when he talk about these different countries. Like, yo, we're protecting them. they ain't even doing
literally.
It is a weird experience listening to him talk. I try to avoid it as much as possible because I'm just not capable. Like I can't, my brain can't manage the level of mental gymnastics that are required to follow his train of thought. Like him saying, I was angry, and then realizing that if he says he was angry, that gives away too much. So he has to say, well, not angry. I was not happy, which literally means the same thing as angry. It's like, I mean, for real, it is a wild ride. And then every now and again, I remember that we get all of our like governmental updates through Truth Social and Twitter. And so like, you know, like the we live in an upside down right now, and it's just gonna be what it is.
We don't need their help, but I was surprised they didn't want to help us. we don't really need their help, but why won't they help?
It's also weird. I mean, it's not weird. It's very much expected, right? Because the mainstream media, the U.S. media, is doing what it's supposed to do. But given how unpredictable, like how much he lies, right, and just kind of as he breathes, it's so weird to hear these news sites quote them, right? To say like Iran is seeking negotiations according to the White House. You mean the White House that was just up here rambling and lying, like that same White House? You know what I mean? When they're not rambling, when they're not doing, they're also lying, right? I don't want to get it twisted, right? But this is just so obvious, right? And it kind of tests, it just strains your credulity. You know what I mean? To be like, you know, like these people can be trusted. But also, I knew I was like, what word can I say that's gonna bring Ear Doctor back? I found it. No, but I also want to point out the fact that like this is also a contradiction, right? Pan-Europeanism is a thing, right? And these European nations, right, the US, EU, NATO, axis of domination, right, as Bat always calls out, has been working to, you know, subject the global South to its imperialism, right, continuously. You know, Ukraine is a part of that. Venezuela is a part of that. Cuba is a part of that. Iran is a part of that. And this is a contradiction because eventually it's going to get too hot, right? And European allies are going to be like, okay, you're putting us too much at risk, right? They already, the U.S. also, remember back when the U.S. bombed the oil pipeline that brought oil into Europe, right? During the Ukraine war, saying it was the Russians when we knew it was not the Russians, right? So like all this contradiction is heightening, right? Because although there is this pan-Europeanism, Europe is very clear that they are getting the short end of the stick on this deal, right? And you know, it's gonna eventually they're not gonna respond, right, in the way that the U.S. would like them to, and that'll be a contradiction for us to, you know, potentially take advantage of, you know. But it is happening. Nord Stream, thank you.
Nord Stream pipeline, trying to say that Russia blew up their own pipeline. Yes, okay, where they make money regardless. That was under Biden, yes.
And under Biden, thank you. Also, an important point to note. Under Biden.
Ear Doctor, can you play that second Trump clip? We're just playing this for shits and gigs. Just so, I mean, I can't speculate as to what level of declining comprehension and cognizance that Trump has. But I got to say, it's funny to watch. You know what I'm saying? And I don't take pleasure, except in my enemies. When my enemies start to decline, I love it. I can't get enough of it. So this is Trump about to out a Florida congressman's terminal diagnosis in front of everybody.
Congressman Neil Dunn of Florida had some real health challenges, and it was very serious, and had a pretty grim diagnosis. And I mentioned it to the president. And I said, Congressman Dunn is a real champion and a patriot because he's still coming to work. And if others got this diagnosis, they would be apt to go home and retire. And
What was the diagnosis?
It was, I think it was a terminal diagnosis.
He would be dead by June.
Okay, that wasn't public, but yeah, okay. That's it was grim. That's what I was going to say. Congressman Neil Dunn.
That's nuts, man. That is.
It be your own niggas. Look at how he does his loyalists. Yo, Trump has no friends, no allies. It's oh man. What if his family? What if that man's family had no idea that he was slated to die in 3 months?
Dead by June. And the way the other dude was like, "Oh, that wasn't public," but you know, keep it like that's hilarious.
But you know what? His response, it just says so much that he wasn't like that. Oh, well, it wasn't public. Like that you weren't like, why did you do that? Like everything about these about these conversations and these press conferences and the way they all just like bend the knee. And I want to know what he has on everybody. That's what I want to know. I want to know what he has on everybody, because it just feels like I feel like if somebody came to me and wanted me to do some dumb shit, that I would be like, I ain't doing that dumb shit. Right. And I'm trying to think like at what level of I don't know, like what I mean, I guess if somebody came to me and it was me doing dumb shit or Nazareth, maybe I do depending on what the dumb shit is, right? Like, so I'm trying to understand why it seems like everybody's just like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll just do this crazy thing, or yeah, cool, we'll participate in this ridiculous process, or sure, we'll help bomb these people who are just trying to live their lives on the other side of the world. Like I don't understand what's happening. And so and I feel like this is how it always works, right? Like my complaint about people who join Congress and then don't do the things that they ran on doing, I've always conceded that I don't know what happens when you get there, right? Like I have no understanding at all of the inner workings when you actually walk into your office. Like, who comes to you first? Is it the person who tells you what exactly is going to happen if you don't toe the line? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's like, I have no doubt that there's some level of political machinations and wheeling and dealing behind the scenes, right? It's also like, you preserve this relationship, you get access to fundraising capital, you get access to our investors. You know what I mean? Like there's so much that goes behind, what makes a political career in this country, quote unquote, successful, that like, I think all of it's on the table. But I think the piece that I'm more interested in is the way, like, because you're right, they all are so deferential. And I read at least part of that in the similar way that I read the way in which liberals and Democrats, more broadly speaking, also normalize all of this, right? Because at the end of the day, he's the US president. And I do think that there's a level of, no matter how, how much he says the quiet part out loud, how much, he is kind of, offends people's sensibilities, quote unquote, right? At the end of the day, he's the US president. And at the end of the day, he's working for US empire, which all of them understand, and there's this desire to, I don't know, like there seems like there's this, like if we admit that he is the problem that we know he is, that he is inept in the way that we know he is, then it calls this entire thing into question, which can't be called into question. So there's at least a level of that, right? Of US exceptionalism, of, all of these things, right? And they're just the particular figurehead for this moment, right? But I do think it's worth highlighting, right? Because the ruling classes are coalescing. There was a more, at least rhetorical kind of opposition in his first term, but in his second term, we see people like Hillary Clinton coming out and giving interviews, talking about how he's really doing a good job, right? And how this second term actually gives her more hope for bipartisanship, right? Or Bernie Sanders giving his interview, talking about how, well, Trump is like, I'm not a fan of Trump, but Trump's doing a good job with the border and immigration, and Biden couldn't hack it. And, so like,
Evan, you made that. That's a really, I'm glad you said it that way, because I hadn't really thought about what happens if everyone actually concedes that this system that we're living under is not functioning. Like it's a non, like it's a non. I hadn't even, but you know who I bet thought about it? The ear doctor.
I wasn't even ready. But you're right. I did think
once you turn the camera on, you should be listening for the transition, man.
Oh, when you're ready, you ain't gotta get ready. You know what I'm saying? So I was just acting like I wasn't. Anyway, so yeah, big up, big up. Real quick, I must say I did learn something today.
What's that? Credulity?
Oh my goodness, how did you know, Kim? Credulity, a tendency to be ready to believe that something is real or true. Money lenders prey upon their credulity and inexperience.
So what's the opposite of credulity?
You're doing
Credulity,
too
yeah.
much now.
Incredulity. Incredulity.
That
Now
makes sense.
you didn't said it weird. Now I can't say it right.
I was like,
It was my fault that you can't say it. My bad.
I could say it before you said it.
It's like you hear it and now you can't unhear the way
I
you
know,
said
because
it.
now I'm all jacked up because I'm like, isn't the word credulity?
Credulity.
Oh, it's not. It's a G in it.
No.
Yo, this American language is stupid. You just said credulity and there's no G in it. I'm done.
D.
Credulity. I can't say it now.
I know, I'm all.
Renee said credulity. I'm just saying. Anyway,
we're all messed up here, yo.
well, that's the Euros. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a quick break.
The Negroes. The interpretation of the Euros. Like
I'm just saying. It's a lot. All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back right here on no other than the Remix Morning Show. Let me get that. Okay, that's that vinyl, y'all. Oh, you can hear the skips in the vinyl, too. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Remix Morning Show. As I left my laptop at my baby girl's crib. And I got to go get it. But anyway, we got a lot of dope shows here on Black Liberation Media, in case y'all didn't know. One dope show that comes around the 1st and the 15th of every month, where we have a good doctor. Dr. Brown comes through and around with another sister that bring you some brokest talk. But they was talking about, what's going on in the world of celebrities versus workers that's putting in the work and how they deal with it. So let's see what they really had to talk when they was talking to Musa on Brokers. Let's check that out.
I also want my children to have some sense of Black cultural pride, but I'm also like, what is that? Like, what? So have you grappled with what it means as we ponder Black culture generically, and how do we preserve that? How do we maintain that so that we're not just upholding the trinkets that we associate with culture, but actually promoting what the culture has been and should continue to be?
No, that's a wonderful question. It's a hard question to answer too, because 10 people could have 20 different opinions on it. I think that when we look at, so segregation, you mentioned Jim Crow, right? So let's take schools, for example, right? Black Afro-descendant people were not allowed in schools, and white schools. It was pure segregation. There's this integration movement. Our culture was not getting our ass beat and things thrown at us and slurs shouted at us on the walk to school. That's not our culture. Mm-hmm. That's not even necessarily, if you want to really get into our history, but that's how it's portrayed. Our culture was that networks of Black independent schools were formed all across the South, right? There were home schools, there were networks of schools and churches, there were Afrocentric schools.
Listen, y'all got to go watch the rest. I can't give it all to you right here on the Remix Morning Show. Go check out the new Brokest episode. You'll love it. You got Erica, Amber, and Musa chopping it up. All right, with that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Damn, it's still skipping. There we go. All right, and it's going to skip there too. Good old vinyl. Good old vinyl.
Make sure you get the dust off the needle. What's going on?
I know. Digging in the crates. That's what happened.
I love it. I love the sound of vinyl, cracking vinyl, hissing vinyl, the hiss of cassette tapes. Yeah, so analog. I love it.
Big up to Brokish and all them. Oh,
Yeah. Shout out to the Brokish crew.
Doc
Shout out to
Brown says,
Lisa.
"Shout out to you, Air Doctor."
all right.
Oh,
We
Musa
do
is the
this.
truth. Musa is the truth. When are we getting into this anime thing? I need to.
There you go.
There's so much happening, man. So much happening.
I'm waiting on y'all.
Man, I watched Baki Dao this weekend. It was with my daughter. She liked it too.
Oh, I haven't caught up on Baki. You're watching like the new
the new Baki.
The new Baki. Yeah.
We don't want to leave y'all out over there, but yeah.
What's up?
let the dorks dork. We don't care.
And how he uses his powers. Anyway. All right. Let's y'all get back.
No judgment. No judgment.
Should we go to Cuba next?
Yeah.
Please. Let's go to Cuba. What's up, y'all? Remix Morning Show. Thank y'all for being here. Renee, Evan, KB, ED in the cut. Remixers. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, consider supporting us, become a YouTube channel member here, Black Liberation Media.
So as everyone knows who watches this channel regularly, Cuba is and has been under attack from the US via this blockade that they're trying to strangle Cuba's economy, and that unfortunately came to fruition, at least in part, yesterday when the entire nation's power grid went out. This is not the first time they've had a power outage, and I think recently like 2/3 of the country was without power. I don't know the last time they had a total blackout like this. Maybe Kim, Renee, y'all can update us, or someone in the chat. But this is incredibly serious, right? And as we've been talking about, right? Cuba is under this blockade and is being attacked not because it's a military threat to the United States, not even really because it's an economic threat, but because it is a political threat, because of the example that Cuba serves for the global South, for Africans here, for Africans everywhere else, of self-determination, of sovereignty, right? Of revolutionary principles in action. Cuba is that model, right? And we can talk about the way in which Cuba has sent doctors all around the world through their health program, or the way they provide health to their own citizens, or the way they've provided arms and soldiers and for revolutionary struggle, right? The what Cuba has given to everyone else, to the world, right, can't be overstated, right? And the fact that they are under this intense blockade, and now they've had this nationwide power outage. It's really important that we call attention to this, lift this up, and ensure that we're all supporting Cuba, and the Cuban people however we can. So yeah, that's what the primer, I guess. We scroll through this article. If y'all have any other comments, Renee, Kim,
just quickly, Trump yesterday in the White House did mention Cuba. He was asked about Cuba, and his response was abhorrent, as you can imagine. Paraphrasing here, he was like, I could basically, we could do whatever we want with Cuba. I can do whatever I want with Cuba. I can do whatever I want with Cuba, with millions of people, says this man in the White House.
Yeah. And is openly saying they're seeking regime change.
Sorry, just real quick, just to answer the question, the last full blackout was after a storm in 2024. So
okay.
It's the grid is when you're trying to survive under the constraints of a full out economic attack, like I'm always amazed by the way the Cuban people have been able to just survive despite all that has been put upon them. Mm-hmm. Right. And so when I see things like this, and I'm reminded that they have been struggling, trying to just live, what's it been, 67 years now? Like, mm-hmm. Right. And it just, and I'm infuriated by the lack, just the sheer lack of ability to be like, Cuba has stepped forward every time we've called upon it to help for whatever reason that Cuba's been called upon to help. And now all of these countries that are again, like they're just bending the knee, right? Like I was furious when I found out what Jamaica's PM did, right? Like I just
For those that don't know, Ear Doctor, do me a favor. Go to the first email, the Tuesday clips, and I included a TVJ, Television Jamaica clip in there describing forced exile. What's the word here, Renee? The removal of Cuban doctors from the island of Jamaica as per a 50-year-long cross-national
partnership.
program.
Yeah, it's a partnership. Yeah. Yep.
The story that Ear Doctor is going to grab for us I think it's from last week, but all the details are still applicable. And from what you told us last week, Renee, that this has been followed through on. The Cuban doctors were or will soon be forced from Jamaica. And from what I understand, people, I guess they were I'm not sure what all these doctors' specialties were. I imagine it was the cross section of specialties, but among them included eye doctors. And I'm assuming some of these people, Jamaicans, were seeking treatment for cataracts because in this piece, the guy, one of the officials says, a lot of people are going to go blind now as they remove these doctors from the island. So let's take a look at the story.
Welcome back. We're continuing the news. Reconfigure the medical relations with Cuba or else. The ultimatum given by Washington to the Jamaican government surrounding the almost 50-year medical cooperation between Jamaica and Cuba. As Jamila Maitland explains, there is expected to be a wave of ripple effects following the discontinuation of the program.
Opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, said the decision to end the medical program between Jamaica and Cuba, that includes the deployment of hundreds of Cuban healthcare workers, will undoubtedly have a far-reaching impact in the public health sector.
Majority of Jamaicans benefit from this program, and persons are going to go blind. We just can't ramp up the number of surgeries that they're doing, and it is going to cause a serious deficit.
The Ministry of Health says there are close to 300 Cuban healthcare workers in Jamaica. They are each being offered individual contracts. But Dr. Dawes doesn't believe there will be a high take-up.
This concept of individual contracts is not going to fill the gap because the collaborators know that there are consequences to abandoning their country.
I'm not going to speculate as to what the response will be from the Cubans who are here as to whether or not they'll take up this offer. But we have to be prepared. So there is a contingency plan that is being put in place, led by the Office of the Chief Medical Officer, to look at where they are, the critical services, and what the gaps that theoretically could be created.
Jamaica and Cuba have had these relations since 1976. The agreement reportedly expired in 2023 and has not been renewed since. Still, the Cubans were allowed to come and work. TVJ News understands that the United States government is concerned about payment arrangements under the contractual obligations. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton explains what currently obtains.
The part salary goes to the Cuban government, part salary goes to the worker here.
The U.S. government has described it as forced labor or modern-day slavery. Dr. Alfred Dawes describes it as unfortunate.
So I'm very worried for the country. It's unfortunate that we are victims of great power rivalry because that's exactly what it is. And it's unfortunate that we're trading the healthcare of our Jamaicans for diplomatic goodwill.
Wow. Well, it's good to know that the U.S. government is concerned about the wage exploitation of Cuban doctors in Jamaica. I'm glad that the White House decided to take a stand on this.
Right. And it's so this is what they did this across the Caribbean islands. And so this was the excuse that they were using across the Caribbean for why these programs needed to end, was because they weren't paying the doctors properly, which and again, it's the hypocrisy of it all, right? Like, how many people here don't get paid properly? Like, you other places in the world telling people about what they paying people, like the caucasity of it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so the reason for me that I bring up Jamaica specifically is because, as people know, I am first generation American, and both my parents are from Jamaica, and I spent half my childhood in Jamaica. So I am acutely aware of this program. I'm acutely aware of the relationship between Jamaica and Cuba, because it stems back long before this medical program even, right? And so the idea that the leadership there and the powers that be would concede something that is actually beneficial to their own people in order to accommodate what the US president is demanding is unbelievable. But also, I'm also reminded all the time that people don't want bombs dropped on their countries.
Yeah.
And the US has also proven to be perfectly open and willing and capable of just dropping a bomb wherever it wants to drop it, because whatever excuse they're going to come up with in the moment that they come up with it. And so there's a huge amount of backlash coming, coming from the people themselves. There's an educational program that goes along with this, because there are medical students in Cuba from Jamaica who are training to become doctors. The teachers, the Cuban teachers who are in Jamaica are going to leave, have left or are leaving with the doctors. And there's a lot. I think for me, there's just so much about this that is just, it's really ghoulish. Like this is ghoulish shit to be like, we're going to take away your health care because we want to make sure that you're doing things the way we want you to do things, even though we're not doing things the way we're telling you to do things. Like it's a wild thing happening that I just don't think enough people are talking about it.
Is that a dog pat? Like,
no, I think it was just
that's my coffee machine boiling in the back.
It's time for the percolator.
That's funny. Yeah, Renee. I mean, yeah, we were still focusing on Jamaica, but yes, this is indeed happening all across the Caribbean. Contracts were canceled in Honduras, Jamaica, Bahamas, Antigua, Dominica, St. Lucia. They're withdrawing their medical brigade from Guyana as well. And this is all, so many elements. First off, right, these countries do not have the ability to backfill any of these doctors or any of these professionals, right? So they're getting rid of these professionals, knowing that they cannot meet the needs of their people, right? Like with this gap, right? So they're making that choice and choosing to, go along with U.S. dictates because of that, right? Putting their people at risk. Also, this is, obviously bipartisan. Clearly, the blockade has gone, as we said, 60 plus years. But the particular, I believe, the particular accusations and charges of human trafficking, right? So either you're exploiting labor or you're human trafficking. I'm pretty sure that came from the Biden administration. I'm sure the chat will correct me if I'm wrong, right? But like this is again bipartisan, right, and long-standing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is. It's just so it makes no sense, right? But it makes no sense from the perspective of like doing what you need to do for people, right? And also there's a way it was framed in that video talking about how Cubans will no longer come there to work, right? As if they're migrant workers, as opposed to there as an act of like political medical solidarity. You know what I mean? So even that framing was kind of bugging me. But yeah, I mean, like, you cut off your nose to spite your face, I guess, in favor of U.S. imperialism.
It's just a very, very sad thing. And, I'm thinking about the people, because I saw a follow-up story on TVJ to this package, and they said that people in Kingston or in and around Kingston are flocking to the hospitals, flocking to the medical centers in advance of the Cuban doctors leaving the island. They are, like you heard the guy say in the story, he's like, we cannot ramp up all of these surgeries. Like, eye surgeries, right? Like there's prep, there's time, there's a lot that goes into it. So I'm just thinking about the people who may be suffering with cataracts or whatever kind of affliction, and knowing that help and treatment is just right at your grasp. And because the United States, in imperial caucasity, in their obstinate, you know what I'm saying? They are going to withdraw your opportunity for health. And
Right.
it's like burn every fucking thing down, burn it all down.
Oh yeah.
I can't deal. Where was I going to go next? Thank you guys so much for being here. Oh, wait, before we go on, like on, can we speculate? Can we do a little speculation real quick? You know where I'm going, Evan?
No. Wait. tell me more. Give me more clues.
They said BB done gone down to yonder.
Oh.
They said BB gone. The internet, that is, not anybody official. Right. But let's go with this. Let's go with this real quick. Chat, what say you? I'm quite curious now. Unless BB has made a public appearance today that I just have not yet seen. But apparently the Prime Minister of Israel has not been seen in a number of days. I want to say 7 or 8 days. Apparently,
I thought they had done some kind of propaganda video of him walking around.
They did. Okay, yes, they did. And the internet is calling bullshit. Because they said the nigga, all right. So BB ain't been seen in like a week, 7, 8, 9 days. Maybe today might be day 9. Yeah. There was a high-level security meeting, blah, 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 him and his top ghouls. And at the last minute, he apparently canceled. Okay. Also, internet sleuths are saying that his personal plane, the Wings of Zion, it has landed in Germany, right? What's the plane doing in Germany, nigga? You fighting in Israel. Get your ass back to Tel Aviv. Fuck is you doing? So the video that was released by the Israeli government apparently purports to show BB going to a coffee shop and drinking coffee, blah, 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 shooting shit. But eagle-eyed people say that maybe he has too many fingers on one hand in one of the videos. When he puts his hand in his pocket disappears or some shit. I don't know. Shit that I'm unable to determine, right? I have to count. I have to rely on the eyeballs of others to determine the AI stuff. But the internet seems to be in consensus that this video released by the Israeli government is definitely AI. So the question remains, where is BB?
I mean, I'm not one to say to poo-poo good news, but we know that these European leaders, right? We're not talking about revolutionary leaders here, right? We're not talking about Yahya Sinwar, who's going to go out on the battlefield, right? We're talking about Europeans who are never bust a grape in a fruit fight. You know what I'm saying? Like about to be in a bunker somewhere, right? As quick as they can get there, and they're going to put their population at risk, right? Because they see them as cannon fodder, they see them as cannon fodder. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's hiding in a bunker, cowering somewhere. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would expect. I don't want to get my I would hate to get my hopes up prematurely. That's all I'm saying.
I know, but he doesn't even want to convey the appearance of strength. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, Evan. I don't know. It's looking. I'm trying not to get too giddy. Yeah.
And I don't want to fall into this trap around, individualism, right? Like whether or not he's there or not, right? What is this? This is like the liberal, this is like democratic kind of argument all the time, right? It's not Israel, it's not the Israeli people, it's Netanyahu, right? And if we could just get Netanyahu out, and get more reasonable governance, right? No, Israel is a settler colonial state, right? So, regardless of who's leading it, it was going to continue to function the way it functions, just like the U.S. imperialist nation continues to function the way it functions. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe one of those rockets found their target.
I want bad things to happen to bad people. I fully agree. If BB, even if he is dead, that one monkey don't stop the show, right? They will continue on with their stated mission of fuckery. But damn, I mean, yes. I mean, yes. What's the chat saying? Chat, what say you? Yeah, is he gone? Is he hiding?
Oh man.
Put them comments up.
John Kemper, thank you for the $5. Says he be gone would make us all a bit more relaxed.
All right.
I mean, it's not incorrect, but
correct. But yeah, you know.
Well, but it also plays into whether or not he's gone or not gone. The heightened, I mean, heightened, it doesn't even really do it justice, but the amount of censorship around this entire engagement is quite remarkable. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yes, that is true, Kim, and I think that is much more about Iran putting foot to butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that watch those IOF shoulders like ripping down the cameras, be like, y'all need to see nothing over here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, it is they have to keep. I mean, this is the creation of the reality, right? In the same way that Trump is saying, you know, they're begging for a deal. I just don't want to give it to them because it's not a good enough deal. You know, similarly, and really at a different level, at a heightened level, the IOF is like, the Israeli state is like, you cannot see what's going on here. We're safe, we're good. You know, we're impenetrable dome and all that good stuff. Doesn't seem to be the case, but you know, they can continue to say it. I mean, honestly, as they have done with the genocide, don't believe your lying eyes. Forget what you see. We're good. You know, kind of, it's actually very much the same type of, I don't know, a methodology in some way. But yeah, you know, they don't want the info to get out. But I have seen some videos, and it does look like things are great over there.
Sheesh. And the wild thing about the videos is that Iran has not even really begun to shoot. They haven't even really begun to shoot. They've been fucking them up, and they still got yappas on deck.
My understanding is that they have been holding the good stuff for later. That's also my understanding.
Oh man! And then the Dubai airport got hit again. Woo! Y'all done fucked around. Y'all done fucked around.
Yeah,
and everybody's like, please, Iran, please, can you please? And Iran is like, we told y'all we were going to do exactly this. And they didn't believe him. Okay.
Was it FAFO? Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
oh shit! Did y'all see Petey Hegseth? Oh, I didn't pull the clip, but he's telling the press, the American media, that they're not reporting this in a patriotic way.
Yeah, you know, I did. So, yeah, because the Guardian sent out like a newsletter. They're very distressed about this whole you have to report the news the way we tell you to report the news. But I'm also like, I mean, this is what they've always been doing, and so, you know, I don't know. I don't know why people get like flustered that somebody would say something like this. Like it's no different than any other attempt to propagandize the U.S. population about what the government is doing. Although, I mean, admittedly, he's like,
the Pentagon tells you, when the Pentagon tells you, not just tells you, but tells the world, we can't wait until your organization is owned by Zionist David Ellison. Whoa. And I agree. Like that, what you're saying, yes, America is highly censored, highly propagandized, but usually they don't tell it to us that straight. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but is that a bad thing? Because it's been happening. So at least like being told this is what we're doing versus them doing it and not being told that's what they're doing.
I can see that.
I don't know. I kind of appreciate the honesty.
I mean, when the what is it, like I can't remember what, Washington Post, New York Times, one of them or two of them knew about the Venezuela attack right beforehand and chose not to share, right? Like that's not that you're chose not to share in order to not put U.S. troops in danger, right? Like that is state-run media, right? More steps, you know, capitalist state-run media, but that is the impact is exactly the same, right? So to me, like them doing that is no different than like Hegseth saying like y'all are reporting on this wrong, right? Do you know what I mean? Like that you're like I don't know.
But they tease that out though. Where does that go? Okay, when the Ministry of the Defense or the War, whatever, tells the media that you're reporting this wrong, right? So what's the next steps?
Well, I think
who's coming to your house?
I think
who's coming to lock you up?
I think it contributes to the I can't say the word.
Delegitimization.
Thank you of mainstream media, right?
Delegitimization.
I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's worse.
I was about to say, Evan, I don't even know. I don't know how you recover from that. That's like,
bye, y'all. I'm just going.
Evan's out. Thanks, Evan. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it.
I remember what I was going to say.
The delegitimization of mainstream media.
Yes. All this is going to do is continue to do that, right? And because the velvet glove is no longer working, right? We will only get the iron fist, right? Because like the narrative is no longer working, because people don't believe it anymore, because the contradiction is so obvious for people, right? They'll know, they'll see that like that's not worth investing in, right? So it's just boots on the ground, you know what I mean? Here and there. So yeah, I mean, that's what I would expect. That's where I would expect it to go, right? As these contradictions continue to heighten.
That's why you have to come here to Black Liberation Media to get the real and the real and the straight. You know what I'm saying? We don't. Well, we do have propaganda, but we're trying to propagandize you into good. And into
it's a neutral term. It's a neutral term. Propaganda is a neutral term. Don't believe what the U.S. state has told you. You know what I mean? It's always propaganda when someone else is doing it. When the U.S. is doing it, it's just news or political commentary. You know what I mean? No, it's propaganda, right? So we're doing that too, just in the interest of the people. And you know, that's the part we play. Please donate. Please subscribe. We're on a shoestring budget over here.
No.
But
listen, I just know at this point, I don't. Whenever this guy is coming on to correct you forward, it might take me a couple of weeks to get past that one.
Not weeks.
Evan.
Wow.
I don't even.
I'm not gonna be here next week. I'm gonna be licking my wounds. I'll be back.
Wow.
It's time for us to forget that this ever happened.
I mean, you know, sometimes y'all don't get y'all European words right. I gotta go help y'all out. Like my man Peter said, man, Jimmy Snooker off the top turnbuckle. That's how we doing it. You know what I'm saying?
No, Jimmy Superfly Snooker. Wow.
Yes, sir. You know, but that's what it is. So it's Women's History Month. Big up to the women out here doing it still, you know, as always, holding it down and holding it up. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. And I wanted to say big shout out to damn, I ain't pulled it up yet. But I wanted to give a big shout out to another person we just had a transition, a sister, since we talking about you know, transitions and Women's History Month. Y'all remember watching the Apollo?
Yes.
You remember the hostess on the Apollo?
Kiki Shepard.
Kiki
is that her
Shepard.
name?
Yes.
She didn't She not gone.
We just lost her today. Yeah. Big up. That's for your time, Evan, probably. But we talk about the great Kiki Shepard. Yes.
I do know
just
her.
had a transition. She was on Apollo for many years. And yeah, big up to that sister.
How old was she? I'm guessing she had to be close to 80.
4 is what
she
it
was.
says.
Oh, okay. She was born in 71.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, she was gorgeous. She used to wear those beautiful gowns, and she would kind of like sashay out on stage.
She was the Black Vanna White before Black Vanna White.
I just knew he was gonna say it. I was waiting. I was waiting when I
You knew that was coming.
literally. I was like, here comes Vanna White. Here it comes.
I mean, man, you know, Pat Sajak, and you know, they got so much publicity in rap songs back in the day.
Where can I find those old Showtime at the Apollo episodes? Because you want to talk about some amazing performances, like, and people were performing live. You understand? Like, you could tell, like, ain't no one, the people that would maybe a couple people would come out there lip sync, but everybody would be out there live.
Well, speaking of Apollo, I got another person I wanted to bring up and give a spotlight on. So let's go ahead and take a quick break and get right to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Woo! Y'all hear that right there? Y'all wonder who that is? Well, let me put y'all on real quick. That, my friend, is the sister Irene Reed. I know you can hardly see the cover right there, but yes, we're talking about Irene Reed. Yeah, Irene Reed, she was a jazz singer. She actually she did her thing coming straight out of Savannah, Georgia. She started off in high school and then went from high school to being in New York City. And next thing you know, she's doing Apollo. She's doing Broadway. She started off as a winner at 5 straight weeks at the Apollo Theater. And then after that, she wound up going to the Savoy Ballroom and blowing up she held the spot down there from 1948 to 1950. She damn, I ain't put the picture up on the screen. That's what I meant to do. Oh, it ain't the best picture, but it is what it is. So then, you know, she wound up recording with different people like Carmen McRae, Sarah Vaughan, Aretha Franklin, B.B. King, and she slowed down from the fame about 1970s and 1980s. She came back at the end of the decade and she appeared at the Savannah Jazz Festival. I mean, the sister got over like 15 albums. So go check out Irene Reed if you get a chance. And yeah, big up to Women History Month as we do what we do right here on Black Liberation Media. All right, let's get back to it right here.
He was, son of a preacher man, doing his thing all his life.
It's Women's History Month. You chose that picture, Ear Doctor? You can find
this is Women's History Month, and you chose that hat. Yeah, Evan. I mean, I guess it wasn't a good
erroneous.
comeback.
It's erroneous.
I can't have good comebacks all the time.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, I literally had to just look her up and be like, yo, what does she actually look like?
So good. You got your man wig on over there.
Whoa. Why is it personal? Why are you taking it so personal?
Oh no, we was talking about this earlier, how men throw hats on
and
when they ain't
admittedly,
shaved.
I started it because I came on when I joined, I noticed the hat. And I was like, Evan, are you wearing a hat because you need to cut your hair? And the answer was yes. And so it's technically my fault, but I didn't ask it in like I wasn't trying to get on Evan. I was just I was really just curious.
Renee was just curious and thoughtful and kind as she always is, an Ear Doctor.
Yeah,
big advantage.
I mean, same reason you got your hat on right now, Kim. You know, you can't get it together yet, but it's all good.
It's Women's History Month, Ear Doctor. Leave her alone. Get out of here.
Why would a man leave a woman alone, Evan? Why would he do that? Isn't that the point of women's existence, to be bothered by men? Yes.
I have no comment. I have no comment.
Evan, would you mind, since you had found a couple of them and then I added one just before we move on from the Cuba discussion, can you pull up those multiple resources so folks who are interested in this history behind these long-standing arrangements and what's happened between Cuba and the world going up to now?
Got it. So you want me to just pull up the ones that I put, like, not
there's two, plus I dropped the link from Pampazooka that I've shared in a couple of places, but it's always good to show again.
I will share. Well, then I will show these real quick. Give me 1 second. So there were a couple articles, particularly on the communists, that I wanted to lift up, especially since we were just showing the Comrade Musa, and Musa also, along with Onye, gave a really good interview. What was it, like Wednesday last week with Jackie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome Remix Morning Show. Please go check that out if you haven't. But yeah, like, also Musa Comrade wrote this, Castro, Cuba, and Pan-African Commitments. Really great article that digs deep into this history that we were kind of talking about, of the way Cuba has supported not just revolutionary struggle, but medical systems, education, right? Really everything that a revolutionary movement would need, right, to build its state and its society, right? Cuba lifted its hands and came and supported. So this goes into a lot of detail on that. So I definitely highly recommend this article. And then also want to lift up this other one in a very similar vein, also from Hood Communists, Socialist Cuba, a reliable accomplice to African liberation, by Ajamu Umi, right here. So lift these both up. This one's shorter, but again, right, goes into this history. So yeah, a common refrain heard from voices from the African Black community these days that our struggle has no allies. That's ahistorical. That's incorrect now, but it's also ahistorical. And Cuba has been one of our most stalwart allies. So yeah, take a look at these articles if you haven't seen them before. But yeah, absolutely. Renee, do you want to highlight some other documents?
If you can, do you mind pulling up the Pambazuka?
Oh, that's what. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'll pull that up. Got you.
So Pambazuka is a Pan-African also news resource, and they've pulled together all the things that they've been writing regarding the debt. And this is a downloadable PDF. So if you go to the Pambazuka website, you can download this full thing. And it's just, it's real. There's so much information there regarding the work that Cuba has done for decades to support everyone else, and why there has to be. Sorry, this whole thing fucking depresses me. There has to be like a means to not turn your back on a set of people who have never turned their backs when asked.
Mm-hmm.
So
just wanted to get the download. This is what it looks like when you download it, especially Sheila That We Owe Cuba. And it's got, several articles in here. So just scrolling through. So these are the different features, right? And it's a compilation of these. Michael Parenti, of course, makes a but yeah, thank you for sharing this, Renee.
No problem. And then quickly, just because they snuck this in, and I don't know how many people really talked about this. And this is not from Pambazuka. This is going back to our conversation about media and what they do. I want everyone to notice, by the way, that I have totally relented on pushing buttons, because Evan doesn't mind doing it, and so Evan gets to push all the buttons. I so appreciate you. I do.
And Evan has a new computer that makes all of this possible.
There we go. See?
Doing that before was a dice roll.
So there's an article there from the BBC that's like 4 days old on Russia, on the Russian oil, on the run sheet. Sorry.
I got it.
Yep, gotcha. I snuck in and added a whole bunch of stuff when nobody was looking. So
like not the list that I saw when I logged on today.
You were like, wait a minute. So that article from the BBC, this is something that I think like the US quietly did. No one talked about it, and it happened days ago, and still very few people are talking about it. So in response to the fact that the strait was closed by Iran, the US quietly lifted its oil sanctions on Russia. And so, again, back to the hypocrisy, right? Like, for all that has been going on as they pursued like this war on, using, to try and shut Russia down. Now all of a sudden we're just gonna lift these sanctions because we need oil to move now. It's always about money, y'all, is my point. Like, it's always capitalism. It's always about money. It's always capitalism. They don't care about nothing, right? Because now all of a sudden it's okay. We're gonna lift these sanctions because we need oil to be able to move.
And this
And no
in
one's talking about it.
the same week of reporting that Russia and China are lending intelligence assistance to Iran, which I don't doubt, nor do I have a problem with. But I mean, in the wake of this reporting, I don't even think Trump was asked about it directly, and he, meandered. I've had a good conversation with Putin. Oh, okay, so you cool with Putin sharing, locations of aircraft carriers? No problem. Okay, and we're going to lift the sanctions. But isn't there some specificity behind these sanctions on Russian oil being lifted? Is it only India that can purchase Russian oil?
Let's see. I'm scanning right now. I don't know if you know, Renee.
No, I don't know off the top of my head. But I will also, just because the sanctions were already very specific, and Russia was still selling its oil to people, and it was just going through a back channel that wasn't monitored by the sanctions. So this is always like, my real point was, and I guess I should have fully read, because I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to the question on if it's just India or not. But whatever it is that's happening, if it goes to India, India is going to be able to disperse it to other places. So that's the trick, and that's what's been happening all along. Is there have been certain places that have been allowed to purchase the Russian oil so that they could be the dispersal unit, so that everyone's still using the oil from Russia that's under sanctions, but they can claim they bought it from somewhere else. And so this is, it's the trick bag that they pull. But I just thought it was hysterical that they quietly lifted these sanctions, whatever additional steps they put in to call themselves lifting sanctions, because they're trying to make sure that, the people don't lose too much money.
Right.
But this, I know Europe is probably extra pissed about this. Like, dog,
Yes.
we're going to lift the sanctions after
Yes,
we
they
have
are.
weaned ourselves off of Russian oil and set up all these LNG terminals. Now we can buy, now Russian oil is back on the market. You asshole.
Right.
Anyway, Putin is doing great during this war. Look at Putin. Putin didn't have to do shit. I mean, we did whatever. I'm so sorry about what's happening in Ukraine. At the same time, Lottie Dottie came to potty. He's selling his oil back. You know what I'm saying? His enemies are flailing in the Gulf once again. Putin is like, it's good to be king.
I do think this move highlights, Renee, to your point, like how vulnerable U.S. empire is, and how tedious, right, like this global economic situation is. Because I mean, this is also done after those strategic reserves were released, right? So like there have been like multiple attempts to at release valves, right, to kind of release pressure on the situation. I think those strategic reserves being kind of released was one of them. I think this is another. But it should highlight how kind of vulnerable the U.S. empire and EU is to what's happening in Iran, or to the war that they're waging on Iran, I should say.
Yeah. Yep. Right back to the hubris. Like, there was no plan. And I think it's really important that people understand that the West just jumped headfirst into this with no plan for what happens if the response is not what we think it's going to be. And it's hubris to think that you automatically know what the person is going to do in response to your behavior. And it never occurs to you that you can't plan for other people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's also this like Orientalism, I guess, or there's this like idea that these U.S. that actually many people within America and many quote unquote Americans kind of have this perspective, but like that no other country has like its own, or people has their own like commitments. You know what I mean? Uh, like like no Iranian has a commitment to their state, to their national project, to like what they want to build. You know what I mean? Like not in the there's no understanding that like these people care about their country too. You know what I mean? Like which is, I don't know, it's just such a basic kind of like understanding of like human reciprocation, right? But like that falls to the wayside in these kind of imperial frameworks, right? Because these people they're not really like us, right? That's the narrative. Like they're not, they're not really free. They're not really picking what their government they want. They're not really supporting their government.
right. And that's also part of the propaganda, right? Like when they started to attack Iran, the first thing the news went to was all of the Iranian expats who were like dancing around with the Israelis in in US cities, right? And so like that's what happens. So then this presentation of, look, even the people want this, without really without really understanding what was actually happening. It's the same thing when they kidnapped Maduro, right? Like they went straight to the the Venezuelan expats living in Florida, dancing and whatever, without any real understanding of like, why are those people in Florida? Right.
And those peter out eventually, right? Like you have these small demonstrations with these groups of people, but they eventually peter out. Meanwhile, these massive demonstrations are happening in Venezuela where they're asking for their president, first combatant, back, have not stopped. Still going. These demonstrations in Iran, still going.
As bombs are falling.
As bombs are falling. They are marching as bombs are falling. You know what I'm saying? Like, Allah Akbar, like God is greater than all of this nonsense, right? And we're gonna persevere. And
they are. I don't doubt for a second Iran is going to be victorious in whatever ways winning looks for them. If it's to make sure that they remain a sovereign state, then that's a victory, right? If they just think about how many billions of dollars every single day not only is being wasted by the U.S. military, but again, with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, that's billions of dollars. Like Iran, to your point, Evan, foot the ass, whipping their ass on many battlefields, right? Like on several battlefields.
Yes. And consequences. There are consequences to
and listen, I always wonder. I watched the documentary on they were talking about what was going on inside of the presidential rooms after 9/11. It was actually a fascinating look at like how people react and speak to each other. And I won't call Condoleezza Rice the name that I usually call her, because
why not? It's hilarious.
No, my mother gets really mad at me because she says I've gotten too loose with my cursing. So if I drop the C next Tuesday on Remix, she'll be really, really mad at me. So I'm not going to do it. But look, everybody knows what I got. See, now. That's why you giggling. You got it.
That's her name. That's her name. No. It's one of the good things Chappelle did give us. You know what I'm saying? Thank you.
But so it's so it's all these, even Bush, like all these people talking about what was going on in his head and what he was thinking and how he had to figure out. And it's fascinating to watch what happens when you are faced with the consequences of your own behavior, right? And so it's just it was a fact. Look, I highly recommend it. And I think it was produced in like 21, so they went back and interviewed all these people, but to watch all these white folks running around with like chickens with their heads cut off, because like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We were never expecting. What do we do? What do you do? And so, yeah, that was, listen, Chirimaja, that was the point. Chirimaja said, well, you dropped it in a roundabout way anyway, Renee. I did. I wanted everybody to know the name without having to say the name. That was.
I think you were trying to set me up to say it, and I was going to go for it. You know what I'm saying?
Kim was going to take the bait. Kim was going to take the bait for sure.
Man.
But yeah,
we got a few more minutes. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I do.
Here, doctor.
How many minutes we got? Okay, we got a couple. You still there, Nakapondas? Can you please play the first clip in the Tuesday remix email I sent? I was perturbed by the story. I'm not going to hold you. And fortunately, everyone's alive, but under what circumstances, I'm not sure. So in the state of Tennessee, there has been a lot of problems with their Department of, Child and Family Services, DCFS, whatever they call it. And actually state of Maryland had this issue as well, where there were so many children in foster care, they didn't have enough foster homes to place them in. There was a tragic story out of Baltimore where a teen girl who had been placed in a hotel in the foster care system ended up tragically dead. And in Tennessee, I don't think they've been putting foster kids in hotels, but what they have been doing is putting them up in the offices, like in the Child and Family Service office. Yeah, the little kid goes sleep in a pallet in the closet, right? Craziness, right? So now the state of Tennessee, in all of its Confederate wisdom, has a brand new plan where they can stick the foster kids where they do not have proper placements for them. They have a new place they can put them.
Jeez. Tennessee could start locking up foster kids in jail-like facilities. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Amanda Robertson for Carrie this evening. Right now, only kids charged with a crime can be held in a juvenile detention center. But a bill supported by the Department of Children's Services would reclassify some foster kids so they could be locked up.
Our investigative reporter Ben Hall has exposed systemic problems within DCS for years now and is digging into these latest details. Ben?
Well, Rory, DCS says this is about safety for kids and for workers, but others claim it's a way for DCS to end the embarrassment of foster kids sleeping in offices by moving some of them to jails.
This is my reading for my humanities class.
Ella Badami is a foster care success story. She went from state custody to college.
Week is midterms, so a lot of studying I have to do.
She sounds like any other freshman until she says this.
And also next week, I have I have a meeting with the governor about the bill. So
This time last year, Ella was testifying in the legislature about a bill she wrote.
My name is Ella Brennan. I'm 19.
The Foster Care Bill of Rights. That bill passed, but now she's worried about a new bill she calls dangerous for foster kids.
It functionally criminalizes being a child just because these kids are in foster care.
The bill would allow DCS to put some foster kids into juvenile detention facilities, even if they have not been charged with a crime in juvenile court.
I don't know of a single other state that is handling this issue this way. So it's a pretty shocking proposal.
Vanderbilt law professor Kara Subal says the bill creates a new category of kids called children in need of heightened supervision. A court could send that child to a juvenile jail.
It's basically a shadow juvenile justice system without the clarity, without the specificity, and without any protections for young people.
2 years ago, DCS quietly changed its policy, allowing for abused and neglected kids to be handcuffed. News Channel 5 investigates reported on a 12-year-old believed to have autism in a transitional home because his family could not care for him, who was double cuffed after refusing to go to bed.
We have an issue where we are receiving children into custody that are dependent and neglected.
DCS defended the proposed bill the same way it defended the handcuffing policy change, saying some foster kids act out violently, putting staff and other kids in danger.
Devils.
just
Ooh,
real,
you cut it
and
short.
somebody
Hey,
said
yeah,
it
we
in-
ain't got a lot of time left.
somebody said it in the chat, and I like they don't like no one in any governmental agency here cares about kids, right? Which makes the whole like refusal to allow people to not bring children in the world if they so choose even more nefarious, right? Because like you don't care about what happens when they get here, so why are you forcing people to bring them here? Right? Like I don't like the whole thing is diabolical. And I gotta Ashley, shout out Ashley, had sent me somebody's name because there's a whole battle happening in their parts of North Carolina with regard to the child services. And child services everywhere is like this, right? Like everywhere they work with the police, they, traumatize families, like everywhere. And so there's a lot that needs to be probably brought to the surface about this. But thank you, Kim, because I had no idea that this was the route that some of these schools were taking to. But
I mean, it's just an extension of criminalizing homelessness, right? Like the kids don't have a home, a family, so okay, well, we don't know what else to do with them. Let's throw them in jail. Throw them in jail. God's sakes.
Traumatizing them for the rest of their life. It's crazy.
Right. And so then you put a child who already, whatever is happening that has presented the situation where they don't have somewhere to live. So, and let's not forget that sometimes the child is taken from the home because they say, well, the family doesn't have the resources. The family doesn't have the resources because Walmart pays people $4 an hour. And we, and all the state sanctioned help that's supposed to come has been cut. So all of these things all build into the same problem, right? Mm-hmm. And as always, the response from the state is always to put them behind bars. Right. That's always the response. We'll just put them behind bars and then go from there.
So real quick, I know as crazy as that bill sounds, Tennessee has, I won't say leading the way, but they have been passing some of the most draconian right-wing extremist laws over, let's say, the past 5 or so years, probably going back longer than that, but just in recent history, recent memory. Don't be surprised if a bill like that does become law.
Yeah. For real. No, Evan got to jet out of here. You got anything coming up, Evan, before we leave?
No, I just want to highlight, PACA is running its health program, its People's Pan-African Wellness Front, and that's happening. If you're in the DC area, on the 22nd of this month from 12 to 3, we'll be at the Rise Demonstration Center. We're giving out medical supplies, free blood pressure, free glucose screenings. Come through. And also check out the many interviews that we've been doing on our Community Control DC platform. Comrade Alex just did one with Dr. Jared Ball recently. I think it was like yesterday, maybe. So check all that out.
All right. Catch you next time, Evan. Thank you for rocking out with us on this Tuesday. Yeah. Get him up out of here.
Hey, Hash, I had a question for Evan real quick, but that's fine.
Oh, you gotta go. You gotta go. He said he had to be out at a certain time.
Got
it. Renee, what you got coming up?
We are actually bringing the young people back from North Carolina Central. They've got some updates on some of the organizing work they've been doing and some of the things that they were forced with from the last time they came on due to their Palestine support. So they're going to come back and we'll have that discussion on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that.
Here come the dog. It's time to let me out, Mama.
You hear it, right? Clickety-clack. I'm like, we sound like an Under Armour commercial up in my house with the clickety.
He said, "Mama, it's 10 o'clock."
Kim Brown, you back out on these streets? What's going on with
Friday? I think Friday. Friday is looking good. I gotta go through. I have to find a new streaming what's it? StreamYard is expensive. So I'm looking into Wirecast. So hold on, we'll see.
It sounds like LimeWire. But yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
It sounds like LimeWire. What?
Like you remember back in the day when
I do.
Yeah.
But all I hear in common is wire.
That's pretty much that's it. It's not too difficult when dealing with me. Real quick, real quick, in case y'all didn't know, hubris is excessive pride or self-confidence. So yeah,
Thank you, ear
a
doctor.
little knowledge for the day. For some people, they're trying to still learn these terms that y'all use. So I felt the need to help them out.
Word. Thank you.
All right. Also, I believe we might be doing salt and pepper, a classical breakdown.
Week 3. Let's
Week
try
3.
it.
We're gonna try to get it done.
I was
And my-
just about to say, I thought y'all did that already.
I know.
Something kept coming up.
Yeah, something comes up with her, something comes up with me. My daughter's having another award ceremony this Thursday. I don't know.
Is she really?
Yeah, I mean it's another one, so I mean she could live without me coming.
No, hell no. You better show up to all them Jones.
Nah, that means I would miss the whole Thursday, and y'all can't.
Okay. Well, air doctor, this is important. Your daughter's getting recognized.
Yeah, she's always getting recognized.
I know, but we don't take those things for granted. We celebrate every recognition.
I'm sending her flowers like I always do. So she'll get, and then I'll take her out to eat later. That's all. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, y'all. This is another Remix Morning Show. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for some more. So make sure y'all tell a friend it's on again. I am the ear doctor. That's Renee Johnston, and that is Burn It Down, Kim Brown. And we are out, y'all. So peace out. Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.